You're listening to Real Estate Roundup with Realtor Nagaraj Annaya every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Bolly 92.3 FM.
Are you wondering what's hot in the Bay Area real estate market this week? Well, then you've reached the right place on the dial. Namaskar, Bay Area. I'm Vijay Lakshmi. Welcome to another happening edition of Real Estate Roundup with Nagraj Anaya, your trusted Bay Area tech realtor. And every week, Nagraj gives us his study take on the market, on what you need to know before you venture into buying, selling, investing, or refinancing your home. And this week is no different. So if you've been considering taking a bite out of the real estate apple, well, don't hesitate to call us, join us in this conversation with your questions, your experiences on real estate. We are taking your questions live on Bolly 92.3 FM. You can call us at 408-912-5038. That number, 408 912-5038. And we are also simulcasting on YouTube. Yes, folks, it's Nagraj Aniya's YouTube handle, and you can also check us out there. Give us your comments in the comment section, and we'll take it from there. And with that, let me welcome Nagraj. Hello, Nagraj. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday and happy Mother's Day for all the listeners out there.
Yes.
You guys rock always.
Absolutely. I want to express a very happy Mother's Day to all our listeners out there, and express gratitude to all of the mothers for all of the love that they shower and how special they are. So, very happy Mother's Day. And of course, I believe every day is Mother's Day.
Yeah, I think it's not limited for a one day. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. Yesterday, I did make one YouTube video how the mothers inspire to buy a real estate or build a wealth.
Yes.
Because you need to rely on, as a man, you need to rely on your wife or mother to make any investment. Because you're trying to get some confidence to understand whatever you're doing is correct or not. So in that way, wife or a mother or even a daughters, right? Or the women's around play important role in men's life. If they want to grow in wealth or in a real estate.
Yeah, and they are very strong inspiration to buy the real estate, the driving that driving force, as you would say.
Yeah, we are live today, listeners. If you have any questions and if you want to share anything about your mother or anything on the real estate, you're please welcome to do it. Vijay Lakshmi, please give out the number.
Yes, it's 408-912-5038. 408-912-5038. And we're also live on YouTube, like I mentioned before. Nagraj Anaya is the channel. And if you go on to the live tab over there, you will also see us there. And you can put your thoughts, your comments in the comment section as well. So looking forward to your participation in the show. And Nagraj, I believe yesterday was the Maya Bazaar, which is very grand, and you were one of the sponsors. So tell us how it all went.
Yeah, it was really great event. A lot of people turned out. Huge crowd came in, being the super hot day yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of activities and a lot of things to learn because a lot of booths were there. And thank you so much for all the participants, because there was a great enthusiasm in each and every participant.
Yeah.
Because there was events from morning 11 until to 7 p.m.
Okay.
It was a great, lot of events participated, and a lot of even people came in.
Yes.
And audience came in. Thank you so much for you all to participate and getting for me to know opportunity to sponsor the event. Thank you.
This is your second year sponsoring this event?
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's great that there's so much enthusiasm, right, for these events. So wonderful. So talking about the East Bay now, I think last time you mentioned about Cupertino when we were doing a neighborhood zero in, and about how people actually are not too many people selling in Cupertino. As a result, the schools actually are getting affected because there's no new blood in the home, sort of new young children and things. The similar thing, or rather the opposite thing, happening in the East Bay now. So a lot of people targeting the East Bay to buy homes, and so there is an overflow of schools in the schools happening, right?
I think I think it's a great question. And see, this is the observation I'm also having. And a lot of the clients after buy the house, they give
Mm-hmm.
me a call. Hey, Nagaraj, I bought a house, like I moved from Fremont to Pleasanton or maybe a San Ramon around, but the schools allocated for them, it's overflow. So they're trying to fit into a other than the home schools.
Yeah.
So what you do before buying a house in that cases? Right, that is very, very important. Do your research first, talk to the school, right? Like as I told you earlier also in the show, a couple of weeks back, we discussed about the school's priorities. The schools all are individual, right? Individual preferences. So before buying a house, you need to do your own research, like talking to the schools, right? School, to understand what are the alternatives, what are the school capacities right now.
Yeah.
You had
So,
bought a
so
house
that is
for,
an excellent point to really check out the school. It's not the question of the school being good or
yeah,
whatever.
because
Are
nobody
they
as
going
a
to
real
have?
estate agent or a
Mm-hmm.
realtor can't guarantee you what school it is in.
Yeah.
It is the basically it's a neighborhood decides how many people are moving in every year.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have bought, as I told you earlier, you have bought a house in near to Los Altos, but the schools are closed. What do you do? Right? You bought a 3.5 million or a 4 million, bought a house, but the schools are getting closed. What do you do? But like you moved from Fremont to a San Ramon, or like you moved to even a Pleasanton, right? So what you do in that case?
Yeah.
So what are the alternatives for that? That research needs to be done first before you buying any house. If you are bought sole reason for the schools, but do your research first. Because nothing is guaranteed, because if the school overflows, what you do?
Yeah.
Because even in like if you're staying in Santa Clara, you bought a house thinking you're getting into a Millikan school, right? But Millikan's is a lottery school. You know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Once the lottery you don't get it into a lottery, what is the alternatives for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That needs to be understand. The
Yes.
research needs to be done before, and even contact the local education authorities to try to understand if the overflow happens, what is the alternative for the schools.
Yeah,
Right?
that's such a valid point. It's not like, just because that is the school sought after schools, but you may not get in
Get
there. So
into
you need
it.
to know.
Right, so that is very important, the research, right? And
Yeah.
you might have paid like 1.5 1.7 thinking that that school is belongs, that school comes down to your neighborhood or like home. But if it's overflow happens, what are the alternatives do you have?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
talking to the local authorities, even consider the alternative education options, right? Explore like alternative education options, such as like we know that private schools or a charter schools or homeschooling, but private schools are expensive again.
Yes. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so this all three options needs to be explored. And like, and if that school doesn't comes down to it, look for a support, a temporary measures, right? Like you, because you're bought always, as I told you, buying a house isn't a long-term solution. But if it's in a short term, if you're not getting into it, what are the short-term solutions for that? That needs to be considered. Are you
Yeah.
okay to send for the overflow school?
Yes. Yes.
That is why
Yeah.
that research needs to be done, or
Yeah.
like that everything needs to be coming into a discussion when you're buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're working in San Jose, you need to commute every day, but you have bought a house in Pleasanton now, or you bought a house in San Ramon, Dublin. Does it okay for you to commute every day?
Yeah.
Because especially the 680 traffic nowadays, it is like it takes you 1.5 hours in the travel.
Yes. Very
Right?
valid points. Very
This
valid
all
points.
needs to be understood. It is not like blindly one family is going on, like you can't just blindly go in for that. So
Yeah.
that needs to be discussed in, because I've seen a lot of my clients, a lot, not my clients, like a lot of clients calls in and say that, Nagraj, I bought a house here 5 months or 6 months back. Is it okay for me to switch back to a Fremont now? Always think about is like real estate. If you're doing it in a short-term sales, you are not going to make a money. And since you bought it in for high rent, high interest rates, you can't even rent it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Correct.
luckily, if you have bought somewhere around December or October, November, it was not crazy as right now. The prices have jumped up again. This week, I was putting an offer in San Ramon. It was listed again for 1.2 to 1.3. House was sold for more than 1.38 and more than 10 offers for that house.
Wow.
That's not even a ready to move in house.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So that is why one more thing is like, as I keep telling you, after as soon as you buy the house, if it is kind of a house needs kind of an aesthetic improvements,
Yes.
don't think to spend immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Always think it is like, is it okay for you to ready to move in like that? Okay. Because again, like you have bought a house and you again put some 100K as in home improvements.
Yeah.
But this things doesn't work out for you. What you do for that?
Mm-hmm. So don't do the improvements immediately.
Home improvements, you can delay it for a few months or like in a year, because that's where you understand or you will come to know, is that the house really you want? Does it satisfy all your requirements in?
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
That needs to be listeners, like if you guys also want to share your experience, you're live on Bali 92.3 now. You can please give us a call.
Let me give the folks, if you're just joining us, I'm Vijay Lakshmi talking to Nagraj Anaya, your Bay Area trusted tech realtor, and of course, the founder of nagrajhomes.com. And he loves to help people find the home of their dreams, whether you are a first-time home buyer or you're an empty nester looking to downsize. He has the experience to help you find a home in the market based on your parameters. Like we're talking about, it's not all a herd mentality that you go and buy a house, because everybody's going to that particular location. It has to depend on what your needs
requirements.
are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you want to share, do please give us a call.
Yes. So it's 408-912-5038, 408-912-5038. And on YouTube as well, on Nagraj Anaya's YouTube channel, we are simulcasting live there as well. And so with all of the ups and downs in the Bay Area real estate market, you could be facing high competition, or it shouldn't be you would be facing high competition and multiple offers. So Nagraj will help do the research and get you the best offer that you can get without having to pay too much, hopefully. So reach out to him.
I think
Always make
that point, let's I think pay too much, it again depends on
that's a little question mark right there.
Yeah, especially in the homes, especially being in a summertime right now.
So this is peak season, peak time to buy a house. So Nagraj, you made a great point about the fact that when you move into a house, don't get ready to do all of the remodeling, or if there is anything needed right away, just wait a bit. Similarly, when you're selling a house, what is it that you should be doing to get it fixed and to get the best price possible? You can be doing it's a whole spectrum. You can be doing just the little things, or you can be doing a whole massive major remodel. So what should be done to get it ideally fixed and get you the best price?
See, it comes down to finally what is the seller's budget they have in mind, right? For everything can be done, but really does the seller has the budget? Right, are you a contractor? Right, the seller is not a contractor, and how fast is he wants to sell the house? He wants to sell a house within a 3-4 months. Do we have that much time to completely remodel the house? Because if you're going within a permit, even the kitchen bathroom upgrades, it's going to take you a 3 to 4 months. Okay, when you're selling a house, always, if you're doing something on the structural related or any kind of an upgrades, better to go with it's kind of an major upgrades. I'm talking about the major upgrades. Always go with the permits, because if something happens, is always it protects to you. Right, that's always a criteria is the budget. That will basically give us a direction what kind of upgrades needs to be done. right? Always the home will fetch more money when it is completely remodeled. But when you sit and talk to a realtor, they'll give you the numbers. What are the differences, or what are the numbers differences when completely remodeled home was not completely remodeled? That would be the numbers you need to consider. So San Ramon, last week, 2 weeks back, there was one house, completely remodeled home.
Yes.
Sold for more than 1.5, 1.52 or something. The other house, which was listed last week, not remodeled home, it was sold for 1.45, right? 452 or 453. So the difference is 60 to 70K. Correct?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we need to look at the homes, and based on that.
Yeah, it's not apples to apples, but
it's
still.
not apple. Yeah. I'm just giving you an example. The same neighborhood, same community, a kind of same square footage differences, right? So it comes down to what needs to be done. Even houses can be like, for example, minimal fixes can be done, right? For example, the gutters fixed, gutters needs to be cleaned. And like, for example, your cabinets can be refaced, right? And even your sink can be refaced, right? All your bathtubs can be refaced, right? So even that, each bathtubs might refacing will cost you $400 to $500, right? So it is like, usually comes down to, again, for if you have a 3 bathrooms or 2 bathrooms, each bathroom will cost you $500. But that refacing will cost $500 to $700. That $700 will get you a shiny finish. Right? That's all the options you need to be considering.
So can you recoup and make more on that, the cost?
So because you're completely doing your tile scheme, completely doing your kitchen, completely doing your bathroom, it's again into a different scale again. Because whatever you're doing in, it might be not whatever the new homeowner is in.
Owner wants.
Always think about, when you're selling a house, don't get too much emotionally attached thinking that you are going to stay in the house, right? It is the new homeowner who will be coming and staying in. So you need to decide the budget based on that. Right? If you are going to too much emotionally attached and going to spend too much, until you sell, you don't know what it is going to be. That's why we should be, as a seller, we should be very careful what you are going to spend when you buy when you're spending on the house, right? So if you are staying in that house like for 6, maybe 5-10 years, if you are spend early, it's okay. But it's a moment when you want to sell, you should be careful what needs to be, how much money needs to be spent. But still, minimalistic things can be done, like kind of a refacing,
something that adds value but is not too much, breaking the bank for you as a seller. Right.
This is like, for example, refacing, as I told you earlier, right? Even like, for example, fences are broken, right? That all needs to be fixed, right? If there's a foundation issue, that is going to be another that needs to be discussed in what the price comes in, right? That is why always when you bought a house, you need to be looking and keep monetarily, like every year or 6 months, that monetarily you need to be checking in. Right? Even the house has a like pest or a rodent activities, right? That all needs to be fixed. Right?
That
you can't stay in the house where
there's
a rodent activities or a pest. Like, you need to get a rodent inspector and a pest inspector in, and get your house visually inspected every 6 months or in a 1 year. Are there any termite issues? Like, if there's any termite issues, like a section 1 termites, right? That better to fix kind of a section 1 termites. If are there any broken tiles in your house, it will cost you a $350 or a $400. Like, for each tiles might cost you a $20-50. Better to fix that. Right? It always, we know that location plays a critical role when you're selling a house. On top of this, the minimal stuffs, what as a seller who works with a realtor to make it better, it's always brings in a value.
Absolutely. Like I always say, no substitute for that. Having a solid realtor in your court with the subject matter, with a solid knowledge of the Silicon Valley real estate market and the experience to get you the best contract possible. And like Nagaraj is discussing, selling real estate in Silicon Valley is equally complicated, and finding that ideal price point and then marketing it properly to get that for you that is the subject matter expert, and that's where Nagaraj Anaya comes in. So if you'd like his help in selling your home, Nagaraj Homes is where you want to go, or just reach out to Nagaraj also offline. It's 408-805-4653, 408-805-4653. But right here, right now, if you have questions on your experience, or if you want to sell your home or buy a home, whatever it is that's on your mind, you want to invest in real estate, give us a call right now. We can take your questions. It's 408-912-5038. 408-912-5038. We have some time and we can get your question in. And if you're, like I said, if you're looking to sell, Nagaraj Homes will do all of the legwork for you to get you and help your home get ready for the sale, and analyzing the current market. And while I'm on that, I always like to mention your
let me add up
website,
more
right?
add up more onto that, right? What are the potential questions the sellers needs to ask themselves, right? I think this is very important. What is the current condition of the property, right? Are there any known issues or repairs needed? That's the one question they need to ask by themselves. If there's a leaking pipes, that needs to be fixed, right? They can't sell a house with a leaking pipe. Right? So that's always what are the current condition of the property? Have there been any recent renovations or updates made to the home? So that also needs to be done. What is the history of the property? Has it ever experienced any significant damages, right? As I told you, like kind of it can be in a foundation issues or a roof issues.
Yes.
So how much does it cost? Do we have that much money to fix it? Yes. Or do you want to list it as it is? When you list it as it is, what is the money you can get it in as a seller? That needs to be thought out when you're
what is the differential when they're selling it as is, where is, and getting some things done with it.
And one more thing is like, how old are the major systems in a house, right? Such as an HVAC systems or like electrical and plumbing. Have they been, like, as I told you earlier, like, is it regularly maintained or replaced, right? For example, as I was telling you, as soon as the rain season comes in, as a homeowner, you need to be fixing the gutter. You need to be looking at the gutters. Are there any blockages in the gutters? Because that will cause the other issues. Like it can cause you termite issues, or it can cause you something else. As a homeowner, when you always, as I told you, homeowner's job is not easy, but it can be made simple when you have small stuffs breaking into it. Add it to your calendar. It's kind of a project management, right? It is not like as soon as you completed project, it is not like that. It needs to be like regularly maintained, or like make sure everything is running in properly.
Maybe one of the sessions that we do in future, we should do this thing where, the year-round calendar, what all should be the homeowner be looking at, right?
Yeah, I think that's a thing, right? You need to, I think maybe you should need to spend 1 hour in your calendar in every month, right? As that should be good enough.
Yeah, like we do like the car, oil change every 5,000 miles or things like that. There are calendar items that you can put for the house as well to maintain the house and keep it going in good condition.
I think that's a great thing. I think you need to have that calendar like in 30 minutes. It doesn't take you much. Okay, I'm not telling to fix everything. Just put a 30 minutes or a 1 hour calendar, like similar to your car analogy, right?
Right.
As our Aaron is calling out like car analogy.
Thank you, Aaron.
It's a good one, Aaron. Like I think we can call out the same thing, home analogy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So every 1 month, put it in your calendar to do things. Right? It doesn't take you much. Even your backyard or all your stuffs, right? You get your always annual monthly maintenance. In that way, after the gardener has done, you need to look out all the few stuffs in there. So that's also one of the important stuffs. And coming back to what are the HOA fees? How are the neighbors? Like, are there any ongoing issues or conflicts in the neighborhoods, right? What is the average utility? These are all a few questions needs to be asked. And if, as a seller, if you guys have any questions when you're listing, what needs to be asked for yourself, to reach out to me and I'll give you more details into it. Selling is not so easy. Selling is the hardest part. If you're not sold it properly, it is going to be hurt you in the long time. If you're not disclosing everything in the property as a seller, it would be hard for you.
Yes. Okay.
Because there is a lot of things going around, I think always to call out everything, all the disclosures as a seller, it's very, very important.
Yeah, disclosing is very important. So, laying it all out and
Yeah,
not
you
keeping.
can't hide the facts when you're selling a house. Whatever you know, it's better to list out. That's why working with a realtor, it makes you kind of to handle all that. It's basically offloading your stuff so that realtor can do it for you in the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
As I told you in the initial start of the show, always you rely on your wife or a mother to make a decision. Same way when you're selling a real estate, you need to rely on a trusted partner who can basically work for you.
Yeah.
Don't think on the terms of saving the commission in there, because if you're not sold properly, it is going to cause a legal disputes for you.
Wow. Okay. So penny wise, pound foolish, and also getting into legalities, right? They're not trusting or
Because
not
if you're
giving it
not
to the
disclosed
expert.
properly, it is going to hurt in the longer term. For example, you own a solar, and if you're not disclosed it properly to the leased one, it's going to hurt it.
Nagraj, almost out of time, but such valid and valuable points. Cannot thank you enough as always. And thank you so much for guiding the community through all of the ups and downs. And folks, if you'd like to listen to the show again, check out YouTube, Nagraj Anaiya's channel, and we can continue this conversation next Sunday. Until then, thank you for joining us. Happy Mother's Day and Namaskar.
Thank you so much.